Hello friends. The other day my friend Nick called me up and said that his lawn tractor wouldn't start. So I went down there and we put the battery charger on it and I started cranking it and I got it to run, and it seemed like there was oil in the muffler, which there was. So I took it out in his backyard, and as soon as I engaged the cutter, it just started smoking like crazy and stalled out. So what I'm going to do on this video is I'm going to order a head gasket set. We'll be changing the spark plug and definitely an oil change also on it. But it seems like it's the head gasket. Before I unloaded off the trailer, I took the hood off it because I wanted to snap a picture of the serial number and everything. And I'm going to try to start it up now. I did have to pull the spark plug out, and then I was cranking it over because it started to hydro lock. I guess with all that oil going into the piston. I don't want to run it that long, but I just want to show you on this what they end up doing. It may take a minute or two, but all of a sudden it'll just start smoking like crazy and then stall out. It happened more so when I engaged the grass cutter, when I engaged the PTO. Well, it's not doing it now, but the other day when I went down there, it was, just like started smoking like crazy and stalled out. Okay, so I'm going to order all the parts for it. I'm going to go up the street and get the OHV Briggs and Stratton parts for it. Because for a job like this or any other job, I'm not going to use any we fly by night parts on this, that's for sure. And for you, it'll be about a second or two. For me, I'll continue tomorrow morning. So before we get started on the disassembly, there's a few things I want to discuss about symptoms of like engine lockup. Number one, you have the carburetor here, and sometimes the needle in seat will get stuck and not allow the float to come up and close off the fuel supply. And what happens then is, a lot of times with my experience with these, it's either the needle and seat or a cracked float or something like that. But what I always noticed with these engines, by the way, this is a 15.5 Briggs engine, overhead valves. What happens then is you start accumulating gas into the crankcase, and when you pull a dipstick out, it'll just run right off the stick, and you could actually smell the gas. That happens a lot with these. Best thing to do with these is to, after you do the carburetor work on it, is to install a shut-off valve here, a fuel shut-off, which I'm going to suggest to him, which I know he can do it. You can just snip the line here and just put one in. And we have the other issue with the blown head gasket, which I'll be able to point that out to you, why that happens when we have it apart. And thirdly, I don't know if this engine has it, but built right onto the camshaft, there's a compression release on it. And the Mower Medic 1 put a video out about 4 months ago, and I'm going to leave a link to that. To address that problem, you would have to pull the engine off and disassemble the engine to get to the camshaft. And I imagine you would have to buy the whole camshaft with that pressure release valve on it. And that's it. I'm going to get set up, and then we'll just start taking it apart. Okay, so I'm going to begin by pulling the top shroud engine cover off here. And another way you can tell if it's a carburetor problem and the engine's locking up, you can take the spark plug out and crank it over, and gas will just be shooting out of the spark plug hole. If there's enough gas in the crankcase, it'll be a mix of oil and gasoline coming out. Now in this case, well, I didn't show you exactly, but when I pulled the spark plug out and I was cranking it, it was just oil coming out of the spark plug hole. So I will begin by pulling this starter cover off here. I already loosened these, and I'm noticing that a couple of these are stripped. Especially what I'm concerned about is the oil dipstick tube screw is stripped. So I'll probably have to put like an oversized self-tapping screw in there when I put it together. So okay, so we got that. Get this off here. You can leave the dipstick tube in. And what I'll do is I'll pull the cover off and clean everything up real quick. Blow everything out. I'm just going to throw everything in one bucket because I know where everything goes. As I always say, always take pictures too, so you know how everything goes back. And sometimes you want to put your bolts with whatever component you're taking off. That was a close one. But I got it. I'm going to take the air filter cover and air filter off. I don't know if you really have to, but we'll do it anyway. And okay, this is connected to the carburetor. This is what we're going to do, is we're going to take the manifold bolts out, just push this off to the side a little bit here. Okay, so we got that. Then we have these two here. I already loosened these up. They're a Torx. I don't know what size they are, but I loosened them up already. And let me just get the driver with the Torx put on it. I think this has to come off right here, so I'll take this off. It's a mix of screws in here, so this has been taken apart before. I'm going to take that top piece off, and I'll be right back to you. What I decided to do was I just set the air filter and the cover back on and blew all this out, because you don't want anything getting into the carburetor throat. So I just pull this back off here. Next thing I'll do is I'll undo the exhaust manifold here. I already loosened these. I don't have a socket for this, so I'm using an Allen key. What I did was I just stuck pliers on here and I just undid it. These have washers on them too. The spark plug boot is missing, but I probably have one around somewhere. Let me just lay this wire off to the side here for now. And now I'll go ahead and pull off the intake manifold. And these are 3/8 sockets. Once you pull a whole head off, assembly off, then you will clean your intake and exhaust manifold surfaces. Now I don't want to get screwed up with bolts here, but let's see. I just put these here. I kind of knew. Okay, so we got that portion done. Now I'll pull off the valve cover. I think they were 7/16. Then there's this bracket here. That's the exhaust bracket. So I have to pull that off too. So this exhaust bracket is 7/16, I mean 3/8, and the valve cover bolts are, no, this is 3/8, the exhaust bracket, and the valve cover bolts are 7/16 socket you'll need. Okay. So that should be out of the way pretty much enough. These bolts I'll just lay right into the cover here. I don't know if this cover's on upside down or what. You're supposed to be able to read this across OHV, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure though. Who knows? It looks like this has been taken apart once already. I don't remember that being upside down like that. You can zip everything apart with your electric drill or air ratchet or whatever you have. We're replacing all the gaskets. So out of curiosity, is that supposed to go like this? Yeah, somebody had it on upside down. Wow. It's funny. Okay, so we have these. Okay, so now we have the rockers. I'm going to pull the spark plug out. I'm going to get this engine to top that center. That's how I like doing stuff. So for that we'll need a 5/8 spark plug socket. Okay, so we'll pull the spark plug out, which we're replacing it with a brand new one. Now I'm just going to turn the engine over until the valves are closed. Should get this wrench off here, just in case. Okay, so your piston should be all the way out. See how the piston's going back in? The piston will be all the way out. And you'll be able to tell better when you got the head off. And another problem too is sometimes valve adjustment. If the valves are too loose, it'll cause the compression to be like outrageous, and that could be a problem too. So it's very critical that the valves are adjusted properly. Okay, so we're at that point now, and now I'll pull the head bolts off after I pull the push rods out. Now on top here, let's see. Yeah, this is the aluminum push rod here. It's made weaker than the exhaust. So you don't want to mix these two up. So you might want to snap a picture of which one goes on top and which one goes on the bottom. I already loosened these up somewhat. There's a Torx lock stud, and that's all loosened up right now, so I'll be able to do that. And this is your softer push rod, and you want to make sure that goes on top. Now we'll loosen this up some. You can even tell the difference in the weight, you know. You can tell that this is aluminum or aluminium, however you pronounce it. And this is some kind of metal. I don't know what. Okay, so we got the spark plug out. And I think the head bolts are like a 1/2 inch. Where did I put that socket now? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Trying to keep everything together because I don't like making videos and be fumbling around trying to find tools. I think there's 7 or 8. I'm not sure. 8 maybe. On the next video, I'll discuss cleaning everything up. Before we reassemble. I think these bolts are all the same, but I'm not sure. So far they are. We're almost there. Yeah, bolts are all the same size. It's not a really hard job to do. It's not too bad at all. We both do that here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it. No, there's one more right here. So I guess there is 8. Can't get on there. What the heck's going on? Oh, I must take the camera over. Sorry about that, guys. This is the last one here. I just wanted to show you play-by-play here. So when I take the head off, we can all see what exactly happened here. Part of the gaskets here. Usually the gasket's like cracked right in here. I don't see it broken. Well, there's going to be just one way to find out. He didn't overfill the oil. That's the first thing I asked him, then I checked the oil. I thought maybe he had too much oil in there. It's hard to tell with this gasket. because part of it's on the head, so it's really hard to tell, but most likely a head gasket is no good. So okay, that's going to be it on part 1 of this disassembly here, and I'll have part 2 coming out following this, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all on the next one.